This is the evening news for Wednesday, October 1, 2014. Making the headlines tonight, Kaitor News caught lying about Diamond Sluice. CJ delays ruling in order to force government to hold the local government elections. Welchman Jr. moves to the High Court against Trotman. Residents join APNU picket at Industry Plaisance NDC. Police destroy over 17,000 ganja plants at Horuni, and teen in ICU following accident at Stortville. I'm Michael Young with the news. Let's tell you what's happening in Guyana and further afield. Head of the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, Lionel Woodsworth, has upbraided the Kaitor News for its publication on the operations of a coker at Diamond Sea Dam, East Bank, Demerara. Alexis Rodney joins us to tell us that that newspaper was again found lying with its pants down.
Woodsworth, speaking to media operatives at the location on Wednesday, said unlike the information peddled by the newspaper, the new sluice has been operating for some 8 weeks now.
And now much of it is being occupied with housing. That drainage coefficient that formerly was suitable for agriculture is not suitable for housing. And there was the need for added capacity, and where it is along the east bank of Demerara or any riverine area where gravity drainage is possible, it's always our preferred option over a pump station.
He said the new coker was constructed because of the drainage needs of residents in the Grove Diamond area. Woodsworth confirmed that the NDIA did have some problems with the first contractor, including his inability to complete work in a timely manner. However, this was addressed when a new contractor was taken.
I'm happy to say that the project is now completed, and since 8 weeks ago we have been opening and closing the sluice, as you would witness.
Providing further update on the issue was the sluice operator, Suru Sapnu, who explained that the Guyana $43 million sluice has to be opened and closed at the appropriate time.
The coker has time when you have to open. When the tide goes down and the water lower and the inside water, then we got to open it. At present now we ain't ready yet. So I don't know when we go, if they want we open with the water high, you can flood the place. So that is all I have to say.
According to Sapnu, pictures were taken and published by the Kaitor News. However, no questions were asked. For the evening news, Alexis Rodney.
Thanks, Alexis. The NISI order requested by Attorney Hussein to command the local government minister to set a date for local government elections has been adjourned after Chief Justice Ian Chang said he needed more time to read the document filed. More details from Vanu Manichan.
Attorney Safir Hussein Subdar on Tuesday filed legal proceedings for an order NISI to be granted, commanding local government and regional development minister Norman Whittaker to set a date for the hosting of local government elections. The matter was first called up before Chief Justice Ian Chang in chambers today. However, the judge adjourned the matter until next Tuesday, stating that he needs time to review the document filed. In his court document, Hussein pointed out that the continuous delay of the local government elections is a direct violation of his and other Guyanese's constitutional rights. The attorney, who recently formed the National Independence Party, plans to contest as a candidate in the elections whenever it is held. Additionally, Hussein is also arguing that the amendments made over the years to the Local Government Act are unconstitutional. He explained to reporters there are no laws that empower the minister to postpone the hosting of local government elections. The attorney further stated that all local democratic organs and municipalities have been operating illegally since December 2013, since the continuance of their services are not provided for in the laws. The last local government election was held in 1994, and there has since been several calls by political parties and stakeholders for government to call the elections.
Residents from Plaisance, East Coast Demerara picketed the Industry Plaisance Neighborhood Democratic Council over the imposition of an overseer. More details from Svetlana Marshall.
Strapped with placards, a number of residents from the village of Plaisance registered their dissatisfaction over the local government ministry's decision to impose an overseer on the NDC. A Partnership for National Unity APNU community representative Sean Austin explained that the new overseer was installed on Tuesday, although there was an acting overseer for more than 15 years.
Now they have yesterday brought someone new who has no idea about local government, who doesn't know the duties of an overseer, and they've asked her to train that person. Now that is gross disrespect.
Austin contended that the new overseer has no knowledge of the local government system. He demanded that the acting overseer be promoted to the position of overseer. But the imposition of the overseer was just one of the many problems the residents highlighted during their picketing exercise. According to the protesters, the government of Ghana through the Agriculture Ministry is attempting to seize their backlands, despite the history behind the community of Plaisance.
A number of vehicles of policemen with arms and ammunition came in there with weapons cocked and said to our people that if we don't move, they will shoot. And that is very threatening.
Apart from intimidating the more than 400 squatters who were occupying the backlands, Austin said the government has flooded the land. He explained that the land was neglected for more than 15 years when residents decided to occupy it, given the growing population. Another community representative, Rodwell Lewis, said they will not be removed.
Our ancestors bought this land here, the land of Plaisance. 65 free slaves bought this land, and we have to make our ancestors proud, and at no time we will allow our ancestors to turn in the grave. Right? We will not sell our birthright for nothing.
Svetlana Marshall reporting for the Evening News.
Johnny Welchman made an appearance at the High Court where he challenged an injunction filed by the Speaker Raphael Trotman. Here's what happened in this report.
Granted Johnny Welchman 10 days to file an affidavit in response to an injunction filed by Speaker of the National Assembly Raphael Trotman. Trotman filed the injunction and the lawsuit against Welchman after the young man accused him of sexually assaulting him as a child. The lawsuit has been seen as an attempt to gag the young man and has been widely criticized by several stakeholders. Trotman and the Alliance for Change have denied the allegations, launching a scathing attack on Welchman's personality. Today, Welchman said that if the High Court judge does not rule in his favor, he plans to take his case further.
I wouldn't lose this case, and first of all, there's something called the CCJ, and if not the CCJ, then the Privy Council. But this case has gotten international attention, and I'm ready for the fight.
You said somebody was arrested. Who is this that was arrested?
Mr. Colin Wilson was in police custody at Obituary as of last evening.
Thank you. You mentioned international attention. Is that what you wanted?
Pardon me?
The attention.
No, I didn't want no attention. This matter has been around very long. Uncle Raphael knew. That is why, if you can recall, if you read Ms. Manikchan's statement, she refused to comment on what Mr. Trotman said. And Mr. Trotman refused to release the full extent of the text message. Ms. Samuel right here can tell you all I was at Kaiser News and what Adam Harris told me. So I am ready. When I say I'm ready, you see this pen here? It has a little camera in it. I'm ready. And if it comes to a point that I have to expose journalists and who, I will do it.
Welchman said too that some media houses have been making unfounded reports and said he plans to deal with it at a later date.
Well, there's a lot of options looking at, including suing media houses who have nothing, saying that I was picked up by government officials, etc., etc. So what I'm asking to this media house is to play a tape or whatever you have, put forward your evidence, or you'll receive a pre-action protocol letter from my attorney when he gets here.
Which media house and who's the attorney that will get here?
Well, as you can see, this young man said I told him I was staying in Pegasus. I have a letter from Pegasus which says I never stayed there. So I'm ready. I'm ready big time. So you can say what, but I've already gathered my letter. So I'm ready.
According to the young man, though the AFC and sections of the media are making the allegations out to be political, it is nothing of the sort.
First of all, this is not political motivated. For those who saying that I'm staying in Pegasus and I will...
But you told us that.
I've never told you all any...
No?
I've never told you any such thing. You release the information that I said so, and then my attorneys can write a letter.
But so you're not disputing the fact that this is political?
This is not political. How could it be political? You have to remember is Mr. Uncle Raphael Trotman mentioned the name of politics to shy away to shove this under the rug. So how could it be political? If it was political, I would have had 10 barge of attorneys.
For the evening news, Alexis Rodney.
As members of the police narcotics branch continue their drug eradication exercises throughout the country, more than 17,000 cannabis plants were destroyed at Horuni, Soosdijk-Linden Highway on Friday last. In addition to the marijuana plants, which range from 1 foot to 8 feet in height, 25 nurseries containing approximately 9,000 seedlings were destroyed along with 7 camps. The size of the marijuana field was estimated at 15 acres. At the time of the raid, no one was arrested. Earlier in the year, a total of 10 acres of marijuana was destroyed at Yorocabra-Linden-Soosdijk Highway, resulting in 2 men being arrested and charged. 2 fields contained approximately 100,000 cannabis sativa plants ranging in height from 3 feet to 10 feet. Along with the illegal plants, several nurseries, a large quantity of seedlings, and 3 camps were destroyed. No weapons were found. The Ghana Telephone and Telegraph Company has said that it has nothing to do with a recent leakage of an alleged email correspondence between government officials. Details in this report.
A day after Legal Affairs Minister and Attorney General Anil Nandlal called for an international probe into the alleged leak of email exchange between himself and Commissioner General of GRA Khurshid Sattar, local internet service provider Ghana Telephone and Telegraph Company has distanced itself from the scandal. GT&T, in a release to the media on Tuesday, affirmed that it had nothing to do with the emails being made available to Kaiser News or anyone for that matter. It said that customers can be rest assured that their personal identifiable information and the contents of their communications are treated as strictly confidential, as is required under Sections 35 and 53 of the Telecommunications Act. The company noted that the law prohibits the interception of communications in the course of transmission and disclosure of its content, and that GT&T has an obligation and a responsibility to aid the law enforcement officers by providing the necessary information. It was noted that an interception warrant must, among other things, specify the persons whose communications are to be intercepted, the identity of the agency authorized to intercept the communications, the persons to whom the intercepted communications may be disclosed.
A teenager is now a patient at the intensive care unit of the Georgetown Public Hospital following an accident on Sunday evening along the Stroudville Public Road, West Coast, Demerara. Jamil Monta, 13 of Stroudville Housing Scheme, is reportedly in a stable but critical condition. The young man is said to be in a coma. According to reports received on the night of the accident, the teen was in the company of his 2 cousins and they were heading to Iflood Community Center ground for the Region 3 Jamboree. As they were walking along the Stroudville Public Road, a motor car reportedly lost control and slammed into the young man who was between the 2 girls. He would have received injuries and was rushed to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, but was later transferred to the GPHC due to the seriousness of the wounds. From the time of the incident, Monta has been in an unconscious state. Join us to the other side of the break for more news. Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. In an effort to alleviate the spread of chikungunya across the country, the Ministry of Health says that persons should take measures to quarantine themselves once they are infected. We'll find out why in this story.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Shamdio Prasad says that persons infected with chikungunya should stay on the nettings or in their homes until the virus is cleared from their system. He explained that while the symptoms of the vector-borne disease usually takes 3 days to go away, virus remains in the body for about 4 more days. It was against this backdrop that he advised that persons with chikungunya take measures to curb the spread.
With the injections that are available in the public sector, in the private sector and so on, a lot of people in the early stages of the infection, they get this treatment and it knocks out all of their symptoms. They feel well and they go about their normal business as usual, but they are still infectious. Once you're infected with the chikungunya virus, it stays in your body for up to about 7 days. And during that period of time, any mosquito that bites you can transmit that disease to another person, pick up the virus and then transmit it to someone else.
This position was earlier advocated, but the opposition parties had rejected the notion, contending that it would not work for Guyana. But Dr. Persaud pointed out that it would be one of the most effective ways to curb the spread of the chikungunya virus here in Guyana.
We do ourselves an injustice by providing such powerful treatment. I myself recommended from the start of the outbreak that with the symptomatic treatment should come strong advisory for containment. And some countries even have rules about quarantine, home quarantining, so people stay at home. So I'd advised initially, and you may want to refer back to some of my early statements, is that we need to emphasize that persons who are diagnosed with chikungunya, whether it's confirmed or suspected, should remain at home, should be, as far as possible, stay under a mosquito net.
Already there are 5,230 suspected cases of chikungunya deaths in Guyana. Although it is rarely deadly, the virus inflicts deadly pains and ghastly rashes on victims. Plans are also moving apace for the opening of the local testing facility.
Guyanese of the Los Angeles area and Southern California spent Sunday afternoon at a town hall meeting with President Ramatar and First Lady Madam Jayalakshmi Ramatar, courtesy of the Guyana Medical Relief. Later, the President's party was treated at a special invitation-only dinner, again courtesy of the GMR. At the town hall meeting, the President updated Guyanese on the issues facing the country. He reiterated a call for a more equitable distribution of wealth between the developed countries and the developing countries, noting that there is still an imbalance of capital flow of over $200 billion in favor of the developed countries. The President also pointed out that Guyana, having graduated into the classification of a middle-income country from that of a highly indebted one, has lost many concessions that are usually granted by the world institutions. Guyana Mining Toolkit was relaunched by the Canadian High Commission on Wednesday, approximately 2 years after it was originally introduced to the public. At the International Convention Centre, Natural Resources and Environment Minister Robert Persaud was presented the first copy by the Canadian High Commissioner, Dr. Nicole Giles, as we hear in this Svetlana Marshall report.
As in the case of the original version, the information toolkit for Guyana is divided into 4 sections: mineral exploration, mine development, mine operation, and mine closure, with each sector having 5 subsectors, painting a vivid picture of Guyana's mining sector, inclusive of the laws and regulations governing the sector. Canadian High Commissioner Dr. Nicole Giles explained that this second edition was upgraded to reflect new laws and amendments in Guyana's extractive sector, promoting responsible and sustainable development in the mining industry.
The Government of Canada is very proud to have partnered with the Government of Guyana on this initiative. Its success has been due to the strong and long-standing collaboration between the High Commission of Canada and Guyana's Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment. But our collaboration with this ministry is but one piece of the puzzle. The Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, the Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association, mining communities, Canadian local mining companies, mining and mining-related associations, and many other stakeholders all contributed towards the creation and update of this comprehensive toolkit. Each and every contribution was valuable and has made the toolkit a more useful document.
Canada has persistently pursued excellence in the extractive sector. However, misinformation surrounding the mines had affected the sector. In an effort to clear the air of all misconception, Dr. Giles explained that Natural Resources Canada, in collaboration with the Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada, the Mining Association of Canada, and the Canadian Aboriginal Minerals Association, launched the Aboriginal Mining Toolkit in 2007. Since then, it has been adopted not only by Ghana, but Mali, Colombia, and Ghana, just to name a few. Natural Resources and the Environment Minister said the toolkit will serve a number of purposes.
For us, one of the first purposes it will serve to enhance its more participation in the sector by ordinary people. So it will not be a sector for those who know, who those only know and who only understand, but it would allow to embrace more Guyanese to be part of, as it were, in the development of this, our wealth. The second purpose, an important purpose from our standpoint too, is that it will allow us to better ensure that there is compliance and enforcement. Because if we have stakeholders and miners and those who are in the sector understand what are their roles, their responsibilities, but also understand what are the expectations of the regulatory agencies, it will contribute, as it were, to an arrangement where there's better compliance and enforcement.
This second edition includes additional regulations relating to the Occupational Health and Safety Act and the Protection Areas Act. The Mining Information Toolkit is available digitally on the Natural Resources and the Environment Ministry's website. However, it will be distributed to mining communities across the country. Swetland Marshall reporting for the Evening News.
In this report, you'll hear that the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority is conducting preparatory work for the upcoming rainy season later this year. Alexis Rodney joins us with details.
The National Drainage and Irrigation head Lionel Woodsworth said special consideration is being given to the massive floods that could ensue as a result of the heavy rainfall expected during that period. His organization is using the current dry season to service the collection of pumps it has so as to be in a better preparatory state for the year-end rain.
Also importantly, we're focusing in completing some of the additional drainage structures like the pump at Windsor Forest, the one at Canal Number 1, the sluice we're doing in Obituary.
The ministry is also engaged in the dredging of channels while seeking to complete the procurement process to make provision for a contract in time for the rainy season. Meanwhile, updating on the Hope Canal, Woodsworth said that the project is 92% completed. The public road bridge and head regulators have all been completed. The NDIA is, however, awaiting the installation of that sluice tour.
Agriculture Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy is calling for Guyanese to use more local produce as the ministry strives to reduce the amount of food items that are being imported. Details from Vanu Manichan.
Making his first address in Agriculture Month, Dr. Leslie Ramsamy reiterated calls for Guyanese to engage in more farming activities as his ministry is working to reduce the number of food items being imported in the country. The minister was at the time addressing students at the Guyana School of Agriculture, where he pointed out that despite Guyana producing large amounts of food items, the country still spends large sums of money on importation of such items that can be produced locally.
We produce a lot of food, but we import in Guyana dollars terms approximately $50 billion worth of food. And you know what the irony is? That in poor families, the highest cost in terms of the food that they have in their home is the imported components of their diet. Every family in Guyana have in their kitchens, whether the poorest family or the richest family, have in their kitchen imported things that they use to prepare meals every day.
Minister Ramsamy went on to say that if Guyana starts to plant some of the produce that are being imported, then the country can tap into markets available in other Caribbean countries that import the same items.
In the Caribbean, in 2013, we imported more than $200 million of corn, more than $200 million of soya. For our farmers and for Guyana, that represents a large market for our farmers. We should take that market. In 2013, Trinidad imported $12 million worth of carrots. I say we should get into that market.
Of recent, the Agriculture Ministry has been pushing for Guyanese to use more local products in their kitchen as opposed to imported items. Only a few weeks ago, the ministry hosted a food exhibition where all of the dishes were prepared using little or no imported ingredients. Agriculture Month is being observed in October under the theme Enhancing Agriculture Through Family Farming and the Use of Sustainable Technologies. Several agricultural activities have been planned throughout the month.
21-year-old John Kelvin of Meadowbrook Drive was today remanded for a simple larceny charge when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Priya Bahari. It was alleged that he, on September 30th at East Street, Georgetown, stole 2 car shacks which belonged to Eon Grant. The man pleaded guilty to the charge, but based on his explanation, which was that he collected the shacks out of a bin, a not guilty plea was entered. The police prosecutor, Michael Grant, objected to bail under the ground that he has no fixed place of abode. Kelvin is expected to return on October 7 before Magistrate Bess. This is the Evening News. More news still ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Evening News. Hailed as a humble human being, the late Bakwuddin Madhu was given a farewell deserving of a true son of the soil at his home in Crane, West Coast, Demerara on Tuesday. Family, friends and colleagues in the rice industry were thrown into mourning with the sudden death of the popular West Demerara miller. During the funeral service, Prime Minister and Acting President Samuel Hines expressed condolences on behalf of President Donald Ramatar, noting that Madhu was a fine gentleman. Madhu, a rice farmer of Crane Village, was instrumental in donating part of the land that was used to build the 600 million access road from Schooner to La Farfet Harmony, a large housing scheme just off the Demerara Harbour Bridge. Meanwhile, Housing and Water Minister Irfan Ali said Madhu will be remembered for his patriotism and his philanthropy when he donated 14 acres of land to the government of Guyana to facilitate the alternate access to the La Farfet Harmony to benefit an estimated 40,000 people. Various industries and technical institutes from Guyana met at a forum to discuss plans for the technical and vocational educational training strategy that is to be implemented in secondary schools across the country.
The forum was hosted by the Colleges and Institutes of Canada as well as the Education Ministry. It was held to enlighten persons within the industrial sector, private sector as well as educators on the plans for TVET implementation in Guyana's school system, with particular emphasis on technical institutes. Education Minister Priya Manikchand was present to explain the importance of this strategy to both industries in Guyana and the workforce. She explained to the participants, particularly the students in attendance, what exactly they are striving for with this strategy.
When we speak of workforce development as a world, we're really speaking of human development. And while human development can take a variety of forms, our focus today on the role TVET education plays in shaping human development highlights an inextricable link between national development and human development. A country with skilled human capital is an economy that shows significant growth potential. It is undeniable that the success of any developing country can be considered a key indicator of the country's advancement in development, human development.
TVET Council President Clinton Williams remarked on how vital a relationship between employers and technical institutions can be in terms of adding development. He invited more industries as well as the private sector businesses to commit to building an efficient workforce with a TVET approach.
It's my view that we need to be creative by introducing a menu of measures that will result in increased collaboration between and among the Board of Industrial Training, the Council for Technical Vocational Education, and the private sector, in order to provide a platform for ensuring that there is maximum compatibility, not only between the range and quantities, but also the competency levels to be attained for all skill sets required by private sector businesses.
Robert George, TVET spokesman, gave a presentation too, highlighting how far technical education has come in the Caribbean and what exact plans for technical training means for Guyana's population. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
19-year-old Jermaine Delridge was today sentenced to 3 years imprisonment along with a fine of $30,000 after he was charged with trafficking narcotics. The young adult appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before the Chief Magistrate Priya Bahari. His allegation read that on September 29 at Cayuni River, he had in his possession 295 grams of cannabis for the purpose of trafficking. The unrepresented defendant pleaded guilty to the charge even after being told that there is a mandatory penalty for such offences. He told the court that he is sorry and begged for mercy. Food for the Poor Guyana recently donated 18 medical beds to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation as part of its continued commitment to the health sector. The donation was made at the Food for the Poor Complex Festival City, Georgetown, by its Chief Executive Officer Kent Vincent to the Georgetown Public Hospital Assistant Director Nashela Lekoran. In making the donation, Vincent stated that Food for the Poor is pleased to come to the assistance of the health sector once again. He reiterated that they are aware that beds are always needed at the hospital. In accepting the gift, the assistant director thanked the charitable organization for their continued support, noting that this was not the first time the institution has benefited from donations made by Food for the Poor. The B Division Traffic Department has embarked on a campaign to educate cyclists and pedestrians on the proper use of the roadways. The campaign will teach the public about safe walking, riding and crossing practices so as to avoid accidents. The initiative comes at a critical time since the number of accidents recorded so far this year is by far the highest for the road accident in recent times. Officer in charge Bud Narain Pasod, addressing a gathering at the Wim Police Station, said educating the public about safety and pedestrian fatalities and how to prevent them will certainly help to save lives and will make the roadways safer. Golden Boy Entertainment has recently released the names of the artists slated to perform at the Bombastic concert slated for November 29 at the Guyana National Stadium. Bisham Mohammed has the details.
Events at the Guyana National Stadium will be epic on November 29 as Golden Boy Entertainment will be hosting one of the biggest concerts of the year titled Bombastic. Thus far, Baby Sham, Miss O, Christopher Martin and Grammy Award-winning artist Shaggy and his band are slated to perform along with Guyanese Lil Million. At a recent press conference at Palm Court, W.R. Riaz explained that this is one event that Guyanese will not want to miss.
The event is called Bombastic, and one of the names which the media just saw is the Mr. Lover himself will return to what we will dub one of the biggest stages for Guyana. Our theme for our teaser for the last 3 weeks, epic, mind-blowing transformation.
One of the promoters, Geraldo Alfonso, gave more insight about the event while adding that another artist is expected to be added to the cast.
Our concept should definitely be different, epic, mind-blowing, transformation. What we had tried to done in a nutshell is practically when you come to the National Stadium on the 29th of November 2014, the 30th of November should be a day you would want to forget. You would have so much fun on the 29th that the 30th, I don't think you can accept a call on the 30th. You can take a text message on the 30th. There will be another artist to be released. So the questions out there would be, is it a female? Is it a male? Over time, Guyana will definitely find out.
Meanwhile, Lorenzo Alfonso assured patrons that security at the concert will be at its best, while noting that adequate parking facility will also be available.
When anyone goes to an event, whether it be a party, a social, you go out to unwind, to be calm, to relax. Let us deal with the security aspect. You shouldn't come to this event feeling that you might be under threat. We have the Guyana Police Force backing us, full support. We have 3 private security firms will be there. In terms of parking, the parking arrangements will be far different. You wouldn't have a hassle to come in, a hassle to leave. Secure parking.
Tickets for the event will be released on October 10 and will cost $3,000 for general admission and $16,000 for stage front. Tickets location will be released shortly, but patrons can purchase from any of the branded Golden Boy vehicles and benefit from several offers. Bishar Mohammed at Evening News.
Your regional and international news are next. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with the Evening News. It's now time for a look at what's happening in the region and further afield. President Evo Morales is cruising to an outright first-round victory in Bolivia's October 12 presidential election, with his nearest rival trailing by 46 percentage points. A new opinion poll showed on Wednesday Morales is projected to win 59% of the vote in the first round, unchanged from polls in July and August, against 13% for Samuel Doria Medina, the ISPOS poll showed. Medina, a cement tycoon, was polling 17% in August. Morales, a former cocoa farmer who became Bolivia's first indigenous leader in 2006, promises to expand social reforms in the Andean nation, historically one of Latin America's most unstable, but which has enjoyed relative prosperity and calm under his presidency. Now, internationally, the head of the U.S. Secret Service tasked with guarding U.S. President Barack Obama has resigned following several high-profile security lapses. Julia Pearson offered her resignation to the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security on Wednesday. Joseph Clansley, a former special agent in charge of the Presidential Protective Division of the agency, has been appointed to step in. The move follows a major breach of the White House security on the 19th of September. President Barack Obama expressed his appreciation to Ms. Pearson for her long history of public service. White House spokesperson Josh Earnest told reporters on Wednesday Ms. Pearson offered her resignation because she believed it was in the best interest of the agency to which she has dedicated her career. Mr. Earnest added high-ranking members of the U.S. Congress had been calling for Ms. Pearson's resignation in the wake of her testimony before a House Oversight Committee on Tuesday. It's now time for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed from 11 hours on Thursday, October 2 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Burbis River Bridge is expected to be closed from 10 hours on Thursday, October 2 for a period of 1.5 hours. Do join us on the other side of the break for your sport news.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are
Are you looking for a very good used Caterpillar machine at the price you want to pay? Come to our Providence East Bank Demerara Equipment Yard to inspect the machines for sale by tender from October 1st to 31st, 2014. See press or visit us on maccorpcat.com for more info.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. Let's get right into our sportscast this evening. Let's tell you what are the headlines. Viewership broadens in 2014 CPL. Fourth International Softball Tournament set in stone. North Georgetown begins road race to title defense. And Flex Night International date revealed. The news is brought to you with the kind compliments of Maccorp.
Are you looking for a very good used Caterpillar machine at the price you want to pay? Come to our Providence East Bank Demerara Equipment Yard to inspect the machines for sale by tender from October 1st to 31st, 2014. See press or visit us on maccorpcat.com for more info.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are built.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at the sport news together in detail. New figures published on Tuesday indicated a significant growth in fans for the Limacol Caribbean Premier League, with over 65 million people across the globe tuning in to see the likes of Chris Gale, Kevin Peterson, Kieron Pollard and Sunil Narayan entertain in the 2014 edition of the biggest party in sport. The standout figures show remarkable growth in the Indian fan base, with 21 million fans, a sevenfold increase in 2013 following the tournament. Viewing figures in the Caribbean showed a strong rise from 31 million to 39 million, while there were 1.6 million viewers in Pakistan and 600,000 in South Africa. A tenfold year-on-year increase. There was a 174% rise in British fans following the tournament, while viewing numbers in Australia 65%, New Zealand 192%, and the USA 10% also jumped markedly. The Guyana Floodlights Cricket Association will bowl off the fourth edition of the Guyana Softball Cup on October 31 at various venues across Guyana. At the launching of the tournament on Wednesday at the Georgetown Cricket Club Players Pavilion, it was revealed that the top winning prize will be $800,000 Guyana dollars, while the second place finishers will receive a total of $200,000. 24 teams will vie for the top prize, with 7 teams coming from New York, 3 from Florida, and 2 from Canada. 12 local teams will also be part of the tournament. Meanwhile, Minister of Sport Dr. Frank Anthony was happy with the progress of the tournament and wished the organizers success. The National Schools Championships is around the corner, and the defending champions have started to prepare early by hosting their primary school championships on Wednesday. Tristan Joseph filed this report.
While the action at the primary school championship was intense, top district leader Mariska Williams was confident of the team's ability to defend their title.
We never go into the battle without any doubt in our mind. Definitely we will retain our championship.
Williams also revealed her thoughts on the level of talent she saw at the primary school level.
So far the primary sport, it was okay. We're not too wow about it. We noticed a little bit of upset for under 12 Sherwin Sampson, who would have been competing from since the under 80s, now at the under 12 and at the inter schools. He would have taken a little blows. He still has a 400 to run, and then come back again next week Thursday at the inter zones and try to compete so that he would make it to nationals.
Further, the longtime leader of the top district noted that all logistics are falling into place.
Well, so far everything is okay. We would have started planning since in August, so we had the dates ahead of all the other branches within the Georgetown. However, our little difficulty was faced when we have a holiday on Monday, causing us to have to merge 2 zones on one day, and as such having the track and field event at one venue. But so far everything is on the way.
The North Georgetown zone will also have a full week of inter-schools and inter-zones next week at the Police Sports Club ground, Eve Leary.
Thanks, Tristan. Flex Night International 2014 is set for December 7 at the National Cultural Center. Flex Night Inc., headed by Donald Sinclair, on Tuesday launched the 2014 Flex Night International at the Herdmanston Lodge in Georgetown. The event will feature Muslim men and women from the Dutch island of Aruba, Suriname, Barbados and Brazil, clashing on stage with some of Guyana's finest, and for the first time, inmates from the Camp Street Prison and representatives from the Guyana Prison Service will be participating at a bodybuilding competition. According to Sinclair, the response from gyms across Guyana is overwhelming, and for the first time in Guyana, Flex Night will have a men's physique competition. Flex Night was legally incorporated in January 2012 and has committed itself to the highest standards in the planning and staging of bodybuilding and fitness events in Guyana. And that has brought us to the end of the evening news for today, Wednesday, October 1, 2014. Please remember to get a copy of tomorrow's edition of the Ghana Times for details of these stories and other news. I'm Michael Young. Thank you very much for joining me. Goodbye.